today we're going to remove the door panel and install some Jimmy Jammers on a 2016 Ford F250 Super Duty. We've got the Jimmy Jammer right here. This is what's going to go onto the door lock. This is, but first we need to take the door panel apart. So first thing we do is we need to get our 7mm to remove 4 screws on the door panel. We've got 2 down here below, and then we've got 2 hidden in this little cover here. Just need like a flathead screwdriver to remove that. And I'll go ahead and do that real quick. And so it pops right off. We've got the 2 screws. I'm gonna remove these. All right, next we're gonna remove this cover on the window here. It just clips out. Really hard to break it. Be kind of gentle, but it just pops right off. And then we can lift up and remove the door panel. So before we take out the door panel, we actually have to remove, this is a manual a window, so we have to remove this. In order to do it, you just take a screwdriver and you're going to separate like that. And inside there's a special screw that uses a T15, Torx 15. I love how they use different screws. It's just wonderful. So I'm going to fit that in there. Make sure I get it placed in there first. All right, got the screw out. We're just going to pop that off and set it aside. Now that we've got all the screws removed, we're going to take off the door panel. The way it works is you've got connectors in the bottom that you just need to lift up on the door. Be careful of your lock right here. We don't want to pull that or break that, so we're going to lift up on that side and remove that first. Okay? All right, now we got the door panel off. We can set it aside and start working on our lock. All right, next we're going to remove the cover here. It's basically just a tacky cover to keep dirt and things out. So we're going to gently pull that aside. We're only going to be working here on the door lock area. So, okay, so just realize that we actually have to have the window up for this. So I'm going to put back on the manual window arm and just go ahead and lift the window back up. We're going to take off or remove the 2 door handle bolts. We've got one here. In there a little bit more. You see I've got it lighted up there. We're going to remove that, and then we're also going to remove the one that's inside this cover here. That's going to give us space to install the Jimmy Jammer. So what you're going to need for that is a 7/16 wrench for indoor, for inside. Just the way the door panel is, I found that I have to use this for my hands. I can't use a ratchet because of the window frames in the way here. So we're going to use the ratchet for the indoor bolt, and then on the outside we're just going to use this on the screwdriver. It's just a 7/16 screwdriver, and that'll be an easy one to remove. So okay, on this one, if you're using a screwdriver like this, be careful not to have it pull and fall down into the door panel. That's happened to me a few times. So I go kind of gentle and go straight in to make sure I grab it. Same thing when you go to remove this. Be kind of gentle, like you're playing a game of Operation. You're trying to pull it out without dropping it down through the door panel. I think I got it off now. Yep. Bring it back. There we go. We're going to look at putting on the Jimmy Jammer. It's 2 pieces. This is going to fit around. We just removed the bolt. The bolt is going to go here to hold on the door. And this is where the mechanism is. There is a piece right here that we have to pop off. This is the little hand right here. This is where your lock is. So when you put your key in, this turns your lock here. We gotta disconnect this. So I'm gonna grab a flathead and I'm gonna prop this off. All right, so the next thing that we have to do is since we've removed our 2 bolts that hold the door handle in place, we gotta pull this door handle off, or just out just a little bit, so we have clearance to install the Jimmy Jammer. I'm just gonna pull it off. not gonna take it all the way out. And also they recommend turning the key. To the downward position. If you look here, you can see now that this black piece is now facing downwards. That's what we want. Okay, so if you look here on my left hand, I've got the key in, make sure it's facing downward, and I've got pretty much the door handle off. The bolt is out on the top and out at the bottom. If you look here, I'm trying to get this thing to slide. Trying to get the jimmy jammer up over it. Okay. There it is. Okay, just like that. See how it fits in there? I was able to get in there. Having the key in there so this can move is really helpful. And then that's gonna fit just like that. And now I just gotta push the door handle back in. And on the right side, you see the slot here where my finger is. Let's see, get a better view of it. Right there. So I'm going to pop in, this will be the screw from the door handle, so to come back in there, and it's going to hold it in place. Okay, I just popped the door handle back in. If you notice, it should look flush on this side. Mm-hmm. On the other side here, we've got the jimmy jammer on. It's just kind of loosely fitted. It's not on yet. I have to go and tighten on the screws, but notice here, the jimmy jammer fits around. Got the screw. Okay. We've got the two bolts that holds the door handle on. We're gonna go ahead and hand tighten them on, just so the jimmy jammer doesn't pop off. I'm gonna hand tighten this one. Actually, man, I can almost get it. Okay, that's hand tight on there, and we're gonna go here to this part here. Remember, this is a little tricky. Okay. I'm not over tightening here. I'm just make sure that they're put on here. The next step that we have to do is we have to hook the I guess they call this the hose clamp. The hose clamp is what holds the center part on the lock. If you look here, the hose clamp has to go around this mechanism. Make sure that you have the flathead area facing towards basically where you're going to tighten and loosen, because obviously you can't do that unless it's here. Okay, so this is kind of the hardest part right here, because I have to do it by feel. There's no way for me to put a flashlight in here. I can't really see because my hand is in the way, but I'm basically trying to feel the front end of my screwdriver onto the hose clamp. And of course it's a flathead, which is not fun either, so. But I'm just trying to feel the front end, and I think I've got it. All right, so it looks like we got the hose clamp installed. It's tilted back a little further than I wanted to, because now my screwdriver, I can get in there, it's just not the best angle. This thing is tight, it's not going anywhere. Now what we're gonna do is tighten these two hex nuts, this one here, and then again this one here. All right, so we've tightened this bolt here with the wrench. Now we're just gonna tighten this one. There we go. Next thing, before we start reinstalling everything, we're gonna reconnect the door lock that we disconnected earlier. This piece here, can't see it. Next up, we're gonna reconnect that bar to here, to the door lock. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna try to reconnect this to here. I'm gonna try to just push that in. Okay, we see that? This part right here, reconnected. Okay, so before we go and reinstall or put our door panel back on, I'm gonna test the door lock. Good. All right, so we're gonna test the door lock. Door's closed. Opens. Locked. Okay. Okay, so we're just gonna put the door panel back on, reverse order. Okay. Once we've got the lock in there, we're just gonna look for the bottom and lift up. And search for the There we go. It's flush. Okay. Make sure we're flush along all edges. I'm sure you are. Okay. I like to do the hand crank first. After putting back on the window handle, we've got the 4 screws to reinstall. 1, 2 here, 3, and 4. If you look, we've got 2 longer screws. The longer screws are going to go here at the top. At least that's how they came out. Put the cover back on for the and then the cover for the 2 screws here. And then lastly, we've got the window panel. Remember, this just clips in. Make sure you line it up. And just pop it. There you go. So that concludes our installation of the Jimmy Jammers. Should make it a little bit more secure if someone's trying to break into your car. It's not guaranteed, but it's something good. Maybe slow them down. Thanks for watching.